Hey, Shancho here to let you know, breaking news, there has been a robbery in Europe in that last game. Heights stolen in the depths of the 9th zone by Raxo, Paco, and Queasy. The question is, can Europe keep it secure? Can they keep their assets in place? Can we have a normal game for once, Sancho? My forecast is saying no.
There's something in the water today in the EU side of things. I don't know if Kevin's affecting everybody, but essentially we're having some madness that's happening right now. But hey, we talked about the tightrope dance you do on height and how dangerous it can be. You could slip off just as fast as you held on to it. And that YZIP team was holding on for so long. We know they had the RPG, and just to take a rewind, as Levin said, is like they used RPG during mid game. And it would have been nice if they held on to it just a little bit longer. I know you want to sneak in an RPG through a build and get yourself a nice elim from a distance into the rocket snipe, but have that ability to use that RPG at height.
Okay. Hey,
you gotta use it.
You have a boomstick, you want to boom, right? That's just, this is what it is. So you gotta keep it contained. You wanna make sure
it's
you have
the ace up the sleeve. It's it's the frosting on the cake. It's whatever metaphor you want to throw at it. They used it too early in my mind right then and there. But hey, 100%. I'm not in their shoes. I'm not walking around with my pickaxe out here. If I was, I'd be a walking 50 pot for somebody. Hey, you could go ahead and take it. I have been on the receiving end of these kind of beams, so no doubt they know better. But hey, we all know how powerful the RPG is, and we all know in other regions as well how powerful that is. But folks, we have a powerful fights all over the maps. And we talked about Puchik just a little bit here, a little bit on they had a bad situation on the rotation. They got caught in that Jaspe situation, but now they're looking to at least win this fight once again.
Snappy versus Red Rush all the way over in Slurpy Swamp, and right now a big dive happening. Snappy on the twos looking for a little bit of action, looking to duo up and try to break into a box. Future going all the way down low, looking for some action as well. Straight up next to Dio. No stand available right there, but he gets reversed on. He goes down.
The reverse card of Puchik as he went for the nice little box dive right in, and all of a sudden things are not going well. We have a big battle here down in the basement. No, there is no bicycle down there at all. There's just destruction and chaos. And Zappy, Toos, and Puchik ran on top. They had a little bit of scary moment. It's nothing like scary when you get hit with that reverse card and all of a sudden they come up on top. On top right now, back to this fight is Andretta, Scram, and Revsguard, who having a very decent start to their day, sitting in 8th place. Well, we all thought they would be like at least contending in that top 3 already, Shio.
I mean, they've been contested every single game, and it's gone differently every single time as well. Just like in Slurpy. Last game, we didn't see Snappy and Red Rush actually go down and fight straight up to the 50-50. You're talking about walking 50 pots. That's essentially what Red Rush's squad kind of looked like. They're not trying to be as calculated, trying to push in and force either team to kind of show all their cards. So there are some POIs are now kind of losing control, trying to just go for that full fight, maybe biting off a little bit more than they could chew. At the same time, over at Steamy, things are slowing down completely. That gives room for craggy trios. That gives room for a lot of people on the right side of the map to make rotations, get to mountains first. The perspective of Hen over there as well, to some Puchik now, looking to just straight up get whatever they can take with Snappy at Slurpy Swamp. There is another trio also walking in towards the left side. We're talking about, or Levin was talking about, dead side rotates just in general from the south side of the map. Walking up the left side of this map would feel like the best place to be for any trio trying to get towards the spot that Andalex is usually in. Looks like Liza and guys are trying to do that right now, but past that as well, we tuned in for this in game number 1. The story of Juke RR, who kind of came in 32nd, 33rd place overall from round 3 today. Looking for some shots on Kayuji, Wexo, and Sarawet also. They go down, a good pickup for them. I guess around the map, it's a lot slower for this game. When that mid game happens though, Sancho, you know things are going to pick up. Yeah,
essentially what we're watching here is a lot of the secondary rotations. That's why we saw Hen going to the Fish Island, racking up as many of those fishing spots as much as possible. You saw the YZIP team, who's landing in Hydro 16, kind of rotate over into the Slurp factory. Now you're seeing Juker, who is currently sitting into this match in 30th place. So a lot of these scavenger battles you happen, they might break out. As you can see, the inventories are not that powerful, but you see engagements happening where these lone POIs kind of go into the scavenger route. So expect a team like Scram and Dretta, once they wrap this up, to maybe pick a visit to those residentials up north, Child.
Maybe, but when is this going to wrap up? One big story here as well is
we're in it.
It's still here, yeah. Passive, who's on the other trio towards the low ground, last place overall, last FNCS Grand Finals for Europe. So complete redemption arc for him, but so far today, it's just been trouble inside, you know, the Steamy Town in general, because there's no possibility of him getting out for free. There's nowhere around that they can really rotate to. Even players in the center of the map near Salty Towers, near the little bar that has that pancake man, always mancakes. There
Pancake,
we go.
yeah,
Mancake there too. There's fights that are breaking out all the way to there. It doesn't seem like every player has the agency they're looking for today in total. They can't really further their stories inside the early game like they're used to doing in previous FNCSs. It feels like we keep seeing different winners of the spot every single game. I understand we only had 2 so far, but to see Savage go down in game number 2 off spawn is just not usually precedented. We don't usually see it happen this early into the competition.
And what is fascinating as we're watching this box fight right now is Savage, Chase, and iDrop have been all over the map. We saw them in Stealthy Stronghold. Now they're out here at this gas station south of the Coliseum. They are in it. They're here to fight, and they're here to make a lot of noise. And like you mentioned, they went down early. So can this kind of be too risky for them at the moment? Where I feel like right now they're just feeling good and they're trying to experiment as much as possible, as Tayson does pick up a knock on Alpha. So now it's a 3v2 situation. The battle is still continuing as Hen Janus is now being contested at by Yaxo, but Hen already wraps up one of the trio mate, and this might be a moment, since we do see in the feed that Savage does get Nikov here. 75% of Hen's team elims come after the 5th zone, but he's already getting up to business early. And they get another wipe here at Craig Eclipse, but this fight's still going here, Shio.
Yeah, we're looking at the 25% from their squad, but it looks like all around the map, all the new flame trios, everyone that is used to not really playing with each other on the grand stage just yet, and have started up this season, like Savage, like Hen overall, are finding more success in these early fights. These classical trios per se, like Nikov and Blaster, they're not having much success this game off spawn. So it looks like this is a game of the new flame in a sense. Topics, Janus and Hen will also move over, cars in tow, towards the center of the map. They might collide with Savage as well, but I don't think it'll happen just yet.
And Hen has been on the rise lately in the FNCS scene, doing really well in third-party tournaments, has does so much. We haven't even hit this topic yet though, Shio. We all know, for the people that watch Fortnite, the people that follow it, the EU has been invading so strong into the NA scene, and Hen is one of them. Hen has no fear. Doesn't matter if he's off ping, he is going to fight as much as possible. Very great placements in NA side of the world, but that's what's so fascinating is even in the NA Cash Cups, we've been seeing some high placements from EU teams. So I don't know, man. We always like to have this whole thing about EU on top, NA on top, but EU boys, they're making a lot of noise all over the world.
I mean, Hen in specific, and just this trio, Hen and Chapek's also playing a lot of DreamHack duos in general. Always just kind of in the top 10. So I feel like, you know, if that's what they're shooting for overall, this is just a qualifier round. They can easily qualify as well this time around. The most recent placement they had in total was second from what we're seeing so far. One of those champion cash ups of recent. Past that though, looking at once again Juke's story.
Oh man,
and on the backside overall, now we have a champion going up against basically, you know, guys who are barely just scraping in. Hopefully their cars don't find the same lanes. Europe can just drive by. But game 3, Sancho, right? This is kind of the game where you've experimented both ways, left and right. So now you can kind of pave your pathway a bit better. You can see how aggression's been treating you. You can understand how passive play has worked out for you, maybe in game 2 or game 1. You know, what are some of the options for a lot of these game 3 trios to do in this game?
You're seeing it right here. Taking more risks. I mean, Janus and Chapek's and Hen are literally driving out and literally out in the open in a car, right? No shots being sent their way. So if there's a difference that we have to talk about as well, to bring up your point, is when you get in these set lobbies, there's going to be points that are going to be starved off from the bottom of the board. And you're not going to get those elims. You're not going to get placements because they're just going to be dominated by the teams that are already accruing them so much. There's only so many points to be dished out here in these set lobbies. And when they're scarce and you're struggling, like you mentioned, if you're doing a scavenger route and you're getting tagged by Storm Surge, if you're one of those teams that have to mix it up, you might make an appearance at Salty Towers. You might make an appearance at one of these power POIs. And it's not because they're trying to slow down their team. They're trying to survive out there on this leaderboard world.
Yeah, I would say risk is definitely something you can experiment with in game number 3. I would also say that speed is something you can finally gauge on how you want to, you know, play the game, how fast you want your rotate to be. Right now, obviously, you pointed out, and Janice and Chapix going straight past this little lake towards the north side. They want to get in fast. Comparatively, we saw them before in game 1, taking things a bit slower. In game 2, taking them superbly fast, moving past every single trio. Now they're kind of in the middle. Taco, Raxo, and Queasy as well. These guys, I think, were taking it slow last game. They're experimenting with speed, kind of getting faster into Sweaty first, taking over the center of the POI. Haven't seen too much from Skyzo other than losing out one fight, so we'll see how they experiment with speed. Play well, though, so far in terms of speed. I've kept a pretty consistent pace. They've been in almost every single endgame, even if there's a duo alive for them, and they've done pretty well.
Yeah, and that pace you talked about, you know, it's been more than 15 minutes of this game, and already there's the same number of teams as we had compared to the last game. It's kind of insane how everything is being pushed. You talked about the pace is being picked up. I think being more comfortable with exactly what you need to do, knowing the game plan, seeing how that is being executed so strongly, and then you could kind of bring in other ones. Now you're looking at a team, Arion, we saw in the highlight package, it's sniped up there from Analyx. You're seeing so much movement that's being introduced. A lot of early and mid-game movement being used by the vehicles has been added into the fray of the FNCS. A lot of people like to talk about the launch pads or the crash pads being vaulted, the shockwaves, but still the vehicles are being a huge factor here. And as you've seen, iDrop and Savage is actually out here. It looks like they were going for a reboot opportunity, and iDrop gets tagged and says, Void says, not so fast. You cannot leave this fight so quickly, my friend. And gets tagged with a big time hit, but it's in these moments is you're just gonna make that other team kind of invest as much as possible in trying to chase you down, and there's no kind of sand tunneling, and iDrop and Tasted are going to look like that to go the rest of the way without Mr. Savage.
Yeah, over there it's kind of like a success versus prestige story. So Tasted and Savage, iDrop, prestigious players. Everyone knows their prowess, everyone knows their accomplishments, overall their premier. But then at the same time, one of the most successful trios coming in from round 3, Void, Passive, Bafo. Just in general, 3 wins overall, the most you can, or the most that were had. They were tied with another team as well, a little bit lower on the leaderboard, but they came second, higher placement, more wins. On paper, look like they're the ones to take away a lot of the competition here today. But once again, we were talking about speed, Sancho. A lot of teams being aggressive so far in this game. This leaves more room up on the map for people to move around. And since there's more room, you can choose not to move around, get close and personal, and have an isolated fight. Right now, 2 trios going at it in Cora Castle. Look at the mini-map. There's no one that can stop Noah Riley, Vidil, and Reason right now. That fight will have to be basically dissipated. One trio has to go down, and I've never seen Rezon lose in that situation at all.
And now we're getting some updates here. Chapix leads all players with 10 elims. No doubt that was from that one match, being on the high ground, able to cash in as much as possible. But take a look here. We're going to get a sneak peek at this in-game, and it's going to have some aquatic finishes here, and that's going to be a sign for all the in-game leaders to kind of pay attention here. And you saw that big fight happen up north here in Coral Castle, so they're going to kind of walk into this bad situation here. Yeah, you can win that fight, but you're going to be in shambles on your rotate here. And that's why Hen, Janice, and Chapix are set for a prime position close to center here in zone 3. Of course, we have one more centralized zone in zone 4. What? Looks like Snack, Easy Sticks. Did they disengage? They disengaged.
Was this allowed?
All that investment for nada. That means nothing.
I got to tell my mom about this. There's a way to disengage away from Reason, Vidil, and Noah Riley. I literally have not seen many instances of this before. It's just, it's amazing. It's a nice sense of unicorn.
It's the water. The water scares everybody away. They understood, like, once that zone was revealed, Shayo, they said, we can't do this. We can't have this fight, because if they win, they're going to get lobby focus on this rotate. And now Taysom now, oh my goodness, going to go solo as well as much as possible, and gets wrapped up quickly in a nice bow, converted into lobby points. Elim is true, and this is what I'm talking about. Late rotates, as Arion and Raze now is in the late rotate, trying to get in as much as possible, but the lobby's gonna have to make them pay the toll. And now you have multiple trios putting in. You have a high danger trio of Analyx kind of paying in. You have Snazzy's trios kind of coming in. Bafo, Void, Passive trying to get those free tags, and these are valuable storm tags. They're not trying to get Elims per se. It'd be nice to get them, but every tag is important for everyone sending beams this way. And oh my goodness, Arion, I feel sorry for you. Lobby focus is too strong, my friend.
There is a ghostwriter basically for the Song of Sorrow of lobby focus. It's the trio to their right. It's Void, Passive, and AR Bafo, who were the first ones to kind of pressure over iDrop and Savage, force them into a fight with Frey, and now everyone is singing along with them, kind of, and shooting down. Raze goes down. Frey, there's no chance. Yes. What a masterclass. Look at that. They get all the loot from both trios off of that play as well on the reboot van. Absolutely perfect. And past that as well, a good game from Andretta, Revsguard, and Scram. Now the whole trio alive. Get to have a spot that looks like they meant to be in. And on a point update on the leaderboard, looks like that lead is not kind of shortening from first place. This is usually a trio competition where we say every team has a shot, but so far after the first 2 games, it's a 1 versus 32. That one top trio being Hen, Janice, and Chapix.
And they're looking to add to their lead. They're sitting right on top of that boardwalk, looking their way to kind of cash in as much as possible. Maybe collect that $200 bag or euros, because this is the EU side of the world. But this is what I'm saying, like, so you see the zone 4 has been revealed and is actually pulling off the water side, so everyone breathes a sigh of relief. But now you see Noah Riley, Razon, and Vidil coming back into their stomping grounds, because this is where they land. They know exactly where they go. They know what's been looted. They know what they need to do. But look at it right over here, a nice flyover. We're seeing that tower being a huge, keep an eye on the tower, folks, at dead center right now, the mini map. That's going to be a place that whoever's sitting on top of there right now has a strong ability not only to send beams on these late rotators, as you see Vidil, Noah Riley using that boardwalk. See, that's what I'm talking about, that experience, knowing, understanding. They have free natural terrain. But whoever's sitting on top of the tower, it is, is Mirza and his trio mate.
It's a red herring.
Oh,
it's dangerous to be there. It's dangerous, though. Like,
it is. It's
the smartest spot to be in is the first place spot on the leaderboard. And we can see them in one of the best spots of the map right now. Janice, Chapix, and Hen kind of invisible. No one kind of around them in boxes whatsoever. No one affecting them at all. On the other side, though, very visible fight. Reza, Noah Riley, and Vidil wanted some type of resolution. Might not be the same trio exactly that they're fighting, Sancho, but they're definitely on their same game plan of getting elims. Never mind, I think they've actually chased down. This is on the other side. Wakey got Steelix, Heatsy, and Snag, so there's no escaping from elimination once you touch, I guess, Rezon and Vidil's box. You try to rotate, it's not possible. Now, though, everyone's kind of stuck as the zone moves in.
It's so fascinating to see. It's actually Kinzel coming from Coral Castle here. Kind of, you know, they picked poorly when it comes to their positioning, and now they're gonna have to pay for that price for their choice here as much as possible. They have two other trios on the other side next to their walls here. Yes, they avoid Storm Surge, but now they're gonna get lobby focus, and they're extending in a lot of beams their way. You have 2 different types of pressure coming in. They have the rest card trio coming in from that Storm side, and then you have the rest of the lobby sitting in beams. Now you have another trio that's kind of trying to work their win as much as possible here, Sile. Things are not looking good for Deceptos, Wakey, and Kinzel.
Yeah, this is a perspective of everyone that's really just not in the zone and has a long way to kind of run. I'm not sure if I saw Storm Surge even activate on Rams. Never mind, it's not there. It's on the Playwall trio, and they're trying to peek.
It's trying to
splash at the same time.
Splash it out. When in doubt, splash it out.
They're in a very good position to just get to the next zone anyways. It just sucks right now because inside Sweaty Sands, no one is opening up their box at all. You can just see it. Closed metal walls. There's nowhere for Playwell to look. They are in trouble. At the same time, anyone rotating is going to start getting beamed straight up. Juker's trying to get inside the zone. You saw the perspective of Andretta and Scram and whatnot. They're rotating outside the map, getting in. Juker's trying to find a straight line in. Bold play, I guess, will take a lot of their mats. Harper God goes down as well. That trio's ruined, but because of them making this play, we get to see Andretta, Scram, and Revsguard actually make it in. Hopefully we get to see the trio beside them as well push through as well. That was Kinzel and Wakey. Past that, the #1 trio that you're not going to be seeing on screen for a while, I think, Sancho, but we should be focusing on at some point is Hen, Janice, and Chapix. They're sitting low ground right now, one of the best positions. Yes, Love, Mirza, and Sick have height, but I don't think it'll be there for that long.
And as we're seeing now, Storm is going to get right up to that edge there. You already see a huge investment on the other side of Analyx and Snazzy and Squeeze. The investments are real. Let's see who pays off. Let's see who rises through the ranks and maybe shoot themselves up their leaderboard. This is a height versus height battle here, but still pay attention to Wakey, Deceptos, and Kinzel. They're sitting right there just on the mid ground as Passive is getting beamed. Void is getting beamed. Yes, you're saving Matza. I gotta keep saying that, but you gotta be careful here. Chapix picks up Andretta in the feed, but this is what's looking good. Now the rotation is happening here. now there's a new height that's up for grabs. Who's gonna grab it first? You saw so many people already kind of playing for that. So far, height is free, but Analex, Nazi, and Squeeze could definitely take it if they like. Sitting right now in front of the zone, looking solid, looking good.
Many loud trios on the left side moving forward, like Andalex taking shots and making sure bouncers don't go off for free. But at the same time, there are some trios staying quiet. You can see Kinzel, Wakey, not making a move, not making any noise. Chapix, 10, and Janice also go bouncers straight away or just quick jump towards another box. Try to get into a fight, but Head takes a lot of damage.
This tarp investment is insane. They went all the way from the top of the tower, and they are doing as much as can to hold on as much as possible. If they get themselves a refresh, or if anyone challenged Slove's trio at height, they have the opportunity to hold it. But if this storm keeps pushing further and further away from their initial point of hold trial, I don't know how long they could hold on, because they basically just went right over. No bouncers, nothing, just old school fashioned tarps.
Old school fashion tarps, but also old school in the fact that they're not pressuring anyone at all. So every trio down below has absolute autonomy to just keep fighting over and over again. There's barely even any pressure from height. That means there's so many more trios alive. That means Storm Surge is ticking right now, right outside Chavix's box. They're looking for that possible trio to try to beam down. But once again, Slove, Sick, and Mirza are so passive on height. This is definitely going to be a low ground difference. Whoever plays low ground the best right now, who has the freedom to fight and take control, will hopefully win this game.
And that is definitely someone you have to look an eye out for, like Hen's trio is sitting really close to that as some beams come down to Analex. Just doesn't convert as much as possible, as Hen does pick up a Elim on a squeeze. Actually, as Loop Boy Mexi goes down, Hellfire gets a squeeze, and the Andalix actually gets taken out, and Boyer gets taken out. So you're right, Slove, Mirza, you're doing such a great job holding height, but you gotta cash in as much as possible. Convert your hold as much as possible into Elims. Now this is going back. That means anyone that's sitting in the mid ground to low ground is going to be able to go back into their old tarp, and that just means Slove's trio is not going to be able to capitalize on any of those beams.
I like this though. They're using the option of self-destruction for every single trio down below. Yes, they bounce back, but they bounce back through a labyrinth and a maze. Some walls might lead you into a different trio's box.
Dangerous.
We're seeing pickups over and over again. We're seeing some claustrophobia down on the low ground too. There are trios sharing one box. That is so difficult to operate from. Sick and Mirza are on vacation on high ground. They're in first class, sitting in the air. They don't have to do anything and have so many mats right now. Hard materials between them and low ground as well. This is just a perfect passive play. They don't have to do anything but shoot anyone that peeks their head up. Vidil tried, he got beamed. Michael tried, he got beamed as well. And now it's all just up to these mid-ground trios to try to make the game a little bit longer for themselves.
We took a look at height and how chill vibes it is, but look at the chaos right here. Chapix is leading the tarp, and they're looking as much as possible, looking for people at their feet, looking for opportunities to edit, looking for conversions as much as possible, because they're looking for good. They have them mat lead. They're doing good. They got 6 elims in this match, and it's because they're playing this mid tarp so beautifully as much as possible. Now we have a nice blocks here. We have Slove sitting at height. We have Lunev's trio as well, sitting second from height, looking just for that opportunities to maybe overtake height. But I don't know, man. You're going to be pushed right down into this deadly trio that's been cooking as much as possible of Hen, Chapix, and Yanis. Look at it. They're right below Moraine's trio. And if that height trio pushes Moraine just one layer down, folks, we're going to talk about a huge collision and some big-time names going down to the buzzsaw of Janice, Chapix, and Hen.
It's the final squeeze. These trios are running out of breath. They're trying to dip their heads above water, but it's not possible. There goes Chapix. Down on the top right, Leduc there on the trade as well. Slove up top is just watching this action go down, but they finally break it through and try to see if they can get their first-hand experience of getting some fights down below and getting some elims. It's messy. It's complete destruction and chaos. You can't even see what's going on, but Jasmine and Moran are trying to stay alive. Slove, 4 HP goes down. Wyzip gets 2 confirmation frags and now has the refresh. Miro versus Wyzip on a heal off. He doesn't find floppers yet. Might be a surface to take there. Miro is looking and wins the game.
Wow, Miro snapping